Hello everyone, this is TheMagiBum here, and I'm going to be bringing you a StarCraft 2 game between myself, TheMagiBum, spawning in the bottom right of Tal'Darim Altar, and Galaxywalker, who's going to be spawning in the top right, and he's going to be in blue. So this is going to be a Protoss vs Protoss. First off, let me start off by saying that I'm not the best with Protoss. I'm actually a Zerg player more or less, but I figured I'd play a ladder game and see how I went with Protoss. Although it was partly Mr. Rusky's fault. He's the one who just said, play as Protoss, don't play as Zerg. I know you're good at Zerg and I don't like to see you succeed, so... yeah, so we're seeing myself playing as Protoss. I do know some things about Protoss, like when to build a pylon, when to chrono boost. I do know most of my hotkeys, like gateways and forges, assimilators, pylons, that kind of stuff. So yeah, hopefully I can challenge this Galaxywalker fella, see if I can do some damage to him, maybe even take a win. But yeah, and another thing that I should probably mention is I actually played 3 games with the Galaxywalker. For some reason he was the only person who I was versing for a period of time, so I'm going to be bringing you 3 replays against him, and yep, I'm going to be uploading this to YouTube too. Okay, we see me scouting around looking for proxy gateways, or maybe a what's called a forge for cannons. But yeah, we see the probes kissing each other as they go past, and we see a simulator from Galaxywalker, and yeah, everything's just looking standard. So another thing that I want to mention is I'm thinking about branching into new other games, not just StarCraft 2. I actually made a new intro for Rage, the game by Bethesda and ID, or id or whatever. I think that's, yeah, it's called Rage. And yeah, I've just made an intro for that, so hopefully you enjoyed that. I'm going to be trying to do like maybe a let's play or like a walkthrough or something like that. Yeah, so hopefully you can see my first person shooter prowess, as well as my obvious awesomeness when it comes to StarCraft 2. And by that I mean, like, I know basically how to play the game. Not really any good, but yeah, so we're seeing me get second gas. Now in Protoss vs Protoss, my knowledge is basically, if you get second gas, the opponent's just going to forget you, or he's going to take a second gas and beat you like Phoenixes or Colossus. So, oh, and we see a hidden probe here. Looks like he's hiding behind this tree, and it looks like it's just out of range of Galaxywalker. And looks like he's also trying to save his energy for maybe chrono boost on the warp gate. Or he's got 2 gateways now actually, so he might be going for some sort of 2 gate pressure, like early on. Maybe get a bunch of stalkers out and see what he can do. We see a zealot walking out and a probe and stalker. Looks like he might be, yeah, he's gonna try and be aggressive with these units. And myself, TheMagiBum, it looks like I'm just going to scout around the base. Yep, just look around for hidden proxies, and I might actually come into contact with this army if I'm not paying attention with that. So here we go, I'm chrono boosting my warp gate. Warp gate is always a critical upgrade to get, and it looks like I'm heading towards maximum saturation. Let's see if I've got enough probes. So another thing that I know is you have to have about 16 probes on mining to get optimal saturation. Well, not optimal, but like most efficient mining. If you get more, you can obviously get more minerals, but the percentage that you get per miner is lower. So yeah, but hopefully you guys understand what I'm saying. But yeah, it looks like I've got a robotics facility now, so I'm gonna be chrono boosting. Maybe chrono boosting? I don't know, maybe not. But I'm gonna be getting an observer out just so I can see what the opponent's doing. And I've also got 3 gateways, so I can sort of keep up with the Protoss player, but he's only got 2 gateways, so I should be able to keep up with him. But what he does have is Zealot and Stalker. Oh, we see an engagement here. This Stalker has to run away from this thing, and then we see a force field that's nicely placed. It's going to delay him a little bit. Not the best force field, it would be better if he saved the energy so I can force field around him entirely, but oh, looks like I have to pull probes off just to kill these 4 Stalkers, and lose a few probes here, but if I can hold this off, then I should be alright, because yes, I do have the lead in workers at the moment, but it's only by 2. So this Zealot's going to die, and I got 2 observers. Huh. That's a bit strange. But yeah, it looks like I'm going to be following him and finding out what he's doing. Looks like I've got 3 stalkers to his 3 stalkers, but I lose 1 stalker, he keeps his. So not the best micro, but he's got 2 more zealots on the way, so looks like I've created a wall for myself with the zealots, or the stalkers, sorry, and oh no, these stalkers are taking way too much damage. There's 3 stalkers here, taking off that 1 stalker, and 4 stalkers against 2, so now there's no way it's going to work out. So, looks like I'm just building up my army. I've lost the guys in gas, so I've only got 1 guy in gas now, but I only need 4 in gas to constantly produce stalkers, so that's alright for me. And looks like a force field that doesn't really do much, it actually hurts me a bit because I have to walk around it. And I lose my sentry as well, so I've only got a few stalkers left, but more zealots coming in, and that zealot's going to kill that stalker, and it's going to be 2v2 now with 2 extra zealots. More stalkers coming in, so you can see I've got a better economy than him just because I've got building more stalkers than he is. But the fact that he's got better composition of zealots and stalkers, it's harder for me to micro kill off. So I'm gonna lose a couple more probes, and if you look at the probe count, it's down by 8. I've taken 8 probe kills, so if you look at the probe count, it's at 18, so lower now. But I've killed off a pylon now. Yep. Kill off a pylon. It doesn't supply block him because he's got another pylon back here, and that seems to be enough for him. But now I've got an immortal, and he's seen the immortal, so now he's probably going to be assuming I can't build any more stalkers just because stalkers are going to be too ineffective against an immortal. And I'm also getting a second immortal, so the more immortals I get, the better off I'll be against stalkers. The only problem is if he keeps building zealots, which he's not at the moment, then it's going to be harder for me to use immortals. I'm going to have to transition into Colossus or get heavy zealots as well. So I'm getting another sentry now because I've got extra gas, because I put more guys in gas, and I'm also getting more probes because I've lost my optimal saturation. I need 1 more there, but yeah, so now I've got a second immortal out, so if I can target fire with these immortals, I should be in a good position, otherwise I might be in a worse position. So you see, those force field just here, there's a force field, but it doesn't really do all that much, sadly, but yeah, it looks like I've got enough zealots here to be able to push this army back. And yeah, it's looking pretty good now. I've got a fairly menacing force here, but he's got a whole bunch of zealots, so if I warp in more zealots now, and maybe a sentry as well, just so I can force field around, then it should be alright. So there's a sentry, there's a couple more zealots. So if we look at his base, we've got, whoa, 5 gateways, wow. So he's got 5 gateways, he's got optimal saturation in his base too, so he should be able to power those 5 gateways, but he can only build zealots out of them. He builds stalkers, he can't afford to use all 5 gateways. But yeah, here he goes now. I use a force field, but that does absolutely nothing. And looks like those zealots are going to surround my zealots, and they're going to come to my army too. And seeing my micro is pretty bad, but you can see I'm starting to target fire those stalkers, and he has to run away. And he's target firing my immortals with his zealots, and I've got another immortal here, and I'm going to target fire those stalkers and get one out there. And now I've just got to micro these units back so I can take on these zealots, and I'm going to take up more zealots, but more zealots come in, and all these stalkers are going to be really long held, and these 2 stalkers can target fire those other stalkers and kill it off. But more stalkers have been walked in, and it looks like Galaxywalker is going to lose his final unit, and that looks like it. There's 2 zealots here, but it's not looking that good. Like he's probably going to have to retreat and fall back, maybe take an expansion or take up somewhat, maybe get some DTs. He's got a Twilight Council on the way, so he probably will be going for either Blink or Blink is not that good because I've already got 3 immortals, but he might go for Zealot Charge and just build a whole bunch of Zealots. Zealots are actually really good against immortals, but if I then take up the Colossus, then that will be really good. So you see I'm taking another Nexus because the lost tab, I'm actually significantly ahead here. So I've got a bigger army than him. I've got I think I've got more probes in him. Yes, I do. I have 5 more probes in him. So my income is also higher. My gas intake is also higher, so I can take up a lot faster than he can. But he has the bonus of not having to spend 400 minerals on Nexus, as well as having to, I'm guessing, build more probes to saturate that second base. I see more gateways as well, so now I'm on 5 gateways, same as him. But it looks like he's going for Templar Archives. This is strange. I think he might be going for a Zealot Archon kind of build. He's running out of money though inside his main base, so I am too, but I've got a second base on the way, so I should be in a bit better spot. I do have a pretty menacing army here, but I've only got 1 Zealot, so if he's got a ton of Zealots here, so I need to warp in more Zealots if I want to be able to hold this off, because my micro is just not very good. But yeah, we see his proxy pylon is still here. He's probably going to warp in some more units here, and yeah, it looks like this nexus is about to be finished, so probably good to transfer some probes just so that this main base lasts a bit longer. It looks like it's starting to run out. We've got 5 gateways finished up now, and we see a forge, so we might see +1, or we might see some cannons. +1 is a pretty good idea in mirror matchups, because just having that extra damage makes your units so much more effective, especially in these big battles. But I'm not sure if it'll come to that, because it looks like Galaxywalker's trying to prosper for an attack again. And we see my observers scouted his base, and what do I see? I see a whole bunch of pylons. I see a Twilight Council. This scares me a bit, because when you see Twilight Council you kind of assume DTs, but when I see Templar Archives I'm like, oh, that's kind of strange. So we see 2 Templars now, and he's morphing an Archon, and we see a lot of Zealots. This is 16 Zealots, that's a lot of Zealots. I've got 1 Zealot, but I've got a bunch of sentries, so I can force field the ramp. The problem is he's got an Archon here, which is a massive unit, which means I can break his force fields. So here we go, I'm separating this army, but I'm going to lose his Zealots straight away, and yeah, it's not looking good for me now. All these Zealots are ripping into my army, and even though I've got a really good Arch, he's got a lot of surface area, so he can take out my stuff. And my Archons, my Immortals are doing absolutely nothing to this army, because you've got Psionic armor, you've got light armor, and you've got light armor, there's no heavy armored units here, so these Archons are just going to all die. And that's going to be a really big loss for me, but I do have the economy advantage, but he has the army advantage now, so if I can warp in more units and hopefully defend, I'll be in a better spot. So what I have to do now is somehow come up with Colossus, but if you look at the production tab, I've got absolutely nothing on the way. I've got 1 Immortal here, but it's not going to be that effective. And we see this Stalker's going to die, sadly, and so now I've got a whole bunch of Stalkers and a couple of Zealots. I should really be building more Zealots, because I think I have +1 almost done, so once +1 is finished, then Zealot on Zealot is going to be ridiculously good in my favour. But I'm getting more Stalkers out, which isn't the best idea. I guess I have a lot of gas, so I need to spend that. But looks like these 2 sentries here, they might try and force field, and Zealots are going to be really, really good against force field with Stalkers. There's no blink here, so these Stalkers can't blink. I really should have gotten blink instead, just because blink is really good against Zealots. It just makes it easier to micro. But it looks like these Stalkers are going to do a loop-de-loop again, but they're going to be surrounded by these Zealots here, the Zealots over here. And more Zealots walking in, but it's not looking good. The Stalkers are in the front, the Zealots are in the back, and looks like army's too big. GG from TheMagiBum, and sadly I lost this game. But yeah, I learned a lot from this game. I learned that, 1, use your chrono boost. It looks like I had 100 here, so if I chrono boosted my gateways I might have been able to build more stuff. I had +1 here, so that would have been, I should have gone for something like Colossus, or just a whole bunch of Zealots. I don't know, something like that would have made a lot more sense. But having the good economy, having the advantage wasn't enough to secure my victory. I guess I got cocky. I don't know, it's a bit strange, but I learned a lot from this game, and I think I'm a better player because of that. So that's the most important thing about this game. So thanks for watching, and I hope I'll see you next time.